a 10/29/2016 tomorrow. The Eagles will play. Oh, the time is 10:03. Tomorrow the Eagles will play, and I have this romantic vision in my head I put on a piece of paper to, for when Dad goes to the store tomorrow. I told him to get a butternut squash, and I'm going to roast that fucker in the oven tomorrow. And, it'll just be NFL and butternut squash. So, it's like, I don't know, just something about that just seems very appealing to me. And also because, trying to eat better, and, it seems to be going well so far, so, that's cool. Oh, and maybe also tomorrow I'll cook some of that shrimp that's in the freezer. It's all good. It's all good for you. It's all bullshit and it's all bad for you. Yeah, so what did I do today? Went for a run, 2.8 miles, the usual. I noticed that guy, because I always, I run past this house a lot, and there's this guy out front. I think he's got to be like late 60s. And every time I run by him, I always hear him like mumbling to himself. And it's every time I've run by him, I've heard him mumbling to himself. And sometimes I see him like he'll be walking close to, here. Like he seems like he wanders off a lot. And it seems like it's been getting worse lately with him. And so, I think, because I remember, like 5 years ago, or however long ago it was, when that woman, or that, that old lady from next door, started getting like really bad with the Alzheimer's thing. Because I remember she was always outside picking up leaves. I don't know what she was doing. Like, I don't know. I guess she was just trying to keep the area clean. But yeah, she was always out picking up leaves. And this new guy seems to be, he's always out doing yard work. So I don't know what it is about, just like, yard work, or just, picking up leaves, or just, yard work, that seems to have something to do with Alzheimer's. But that's sad. That's very sad. I hope that they can cure the fucking Alzheimer's soon, because that's a really fucking horrible disease. Yeah, so I had this thing that I want. I don't remember. My God, I don't remember what it was, but I wanted to just talk about something tonight. I just can't remember what it was. So, I remember thinking before this journal, like, oh, you got to remember what that was. And then, I said to myself, well, maybe if I just talk, it'll come back to me. But it's not coming back. It's actually funny. It's like sometimes things come to you, sometimes things don't. But it's like that analogy I made before. It's just like, you got all these thoughts, you're just always constantly looking at them, but you'd never ever think to, like, say them. Or sometimes it's just very hard to find the words to say them, but they're just right there in front of your face all the time. And, it's like being in like one of those underwater aquariums where they got like the glass dome, and you could just look at the fish, but you can't ever touch the fish. It's kind of like that. Yeah, don't laugh at your own analogy. Yeah, so... God, I'm finding it very difficult to find anything to talk about tonight. I can hear it in my talking right now. I kind of feel like I'm talking more like I did a couple years ago. Like my voice might be like returning back to that. Maybe it's just because, my sinuses are more clear right now than they normally are. Because normally, I've got some shit going on with my sinuses, but, maybe right now I don't have that shit going on. And actually, I feel fucking great today. So, maybe I'll just get back to feeling fantastic all the time. That would be nice. And, never go back to feeling like shit. I really just, I hope it just I want this. Today, or at least for the past couple of days, my cancer worries, because I'm just, I'm always thinking about cancer. My cancer worries seem to have gone away. Like, I've returned to reason and, realized that, like, colorectal cancer and pancreatic cancer and all these other cancers that I always worry about. They happen in, they don't have, I mean, they sporadically, randomly sometimes, but rarely happen, in people my age. But normally they just don't ever happen in people my age. It's definitely things like colorectal cancer. That almost never happens in somebody my age. I mean, you hear tale sometimes of that happening to people, but it's only tale because it was so exceptional that it happened to somebody that young to begin with. So, that's the only reason you ever hear about it. Because, I mean, it wouldn't be noteworthy if it didn't happen to somebody that age. You just don't hear about the vast majority of people that get it when they're like 70 or 80 or some shit. That's who this really affects. But you just don't ever hear about that. The only case, so it's funny. The only cases you ever do hear about are the ones where they're affecting younger people. So you would get the impression that it was like just this thing that only affects just randomly some guy in 35 gets fucking killer brain tumor, dead on arrival. That was Howard Cosell talking about John Lennon going into the hospital, dead on arrival. I think that's where that came from. Because I'm just like a parrot. I don't ever say anything from my heart. I just say I'm just just a bank full of recordings, and I'm just saying those recorded things in the bank. That's just how I operate. But everybody probably operates to some degree like that. 7:05. I thought tonight was going to be a better journal, but I guess not. Again, I have no idea how these journals end up sounding. I got some green tea with lime, with a slice of lime in it, waiting upstairs for me, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm trying to note if there is any actual real effects that I feel from eating better. I do feel fine right now. I feel okay, but I just don't know. It's hard to tell something. It's like when you lose weight, you can't ever tell. Unless you lose a lot of weight really quickly, it's kind of hard to tell when you're losing weight because you're always looking at yourself. So you're always at the baseline, but if you look at a picture of yourself from a year ago, then you can see your progress. But it's the same way with just how you feel in general, I think. So what would be the point even of trying to feel better if you're just going to feel the same? If you can't tell the difference between feeling like shit and feeling good, what would be the point of trying to feel good? I'm hoping that makes sense. If it's just all related to your perspective, this is more relativity jargon. Fucking, I don't know why I'm using that word. Trying to sound smart. That's what I'm trying to do. 10:11 p.m. I actually really should start fucking writing some lyrics. 'Cause I only got the lyrics to one song, and those are first draft lyrics. Maybe I don't know. I just really should get on to write it. Because I'm always imagine. Cause I got the feel of the album in my head. Actually, I've got some major decisions to make with it. Just do I want to go real drums? Do I want to go computer drums? Do I want to make this more of an album, a live feel? Do I want to go more it's I was actually thinking just for that last thing that I wanted to go more I wanted to feel more not real, not people playing instruments. And the live version is for that, but the album version is for just listening, it's to create the experience. And doesn't necessarily have to be feel like a live for like a Nirvana album where they're just three things going on. Yeah. Okay. 10 minutes. Goodbye.